Hi everyone, welcome to Forest Hills. Thank you, Maka, for opening your beautiful home. This week it's Parashat Ki Tetzeh. And Parashat Ki Tetzeh, we speak, the beginning of the parasha at least, it speaks about when people go to war, Ki Tetzeh LaMilchama. And over there he sees a beautiful woman. And he desires her very much. What does he do if he desires this woman very much? Okay, this is called Parashat Eshet Yefat Torah, and this is what we're going to speak about. It connects also to Chodesh Elul because Parashat Ki Tetzeh is always, we always read it in Chodesh Elul, and we learn a lot of strategies how to fight against our evil inclinations and the Torah. So we say that if we want to connect it to the previous parasha, it says, who goes to war usually, Jewish wars? Only people that are righteous. They announce, Kol hayareh v'racha levar, whoever is fearful, whoever is afraid, whoever it is, can go back to their homes. Whoever just got married, whoever just planted a vineyard, whoever, right? All these people can go back home, and whoever stays are those people that are not afraid from the sins that they did, meaning very, very righteous people. And the description in the Chazal is, what is this type of sin that they've done? They spoke between, or putting that tefillin shel rosh and tefillin shel yad, in between they spoke. This was their sin. Okay? So we're talking about very, very important people. So a guy like that goes to the battle, goes to the war, and then he sees a nice woman. And then what happens? The Torah, it says, allows him to take this woman, permits him to take this woman. And so there is a dispute between the rabbis. Some say that he could be with her on the spot. Some say only when he gets home. This is when she needs to wait for a whole month, and there's a nice little procedure, what needs to be done. We'll talk about this later. And only then he's permitted to be with her. So let's try to understand what exactly does it mean, Eshet Yefat, Parashat Eshet Yefat Torah. There's only one prohibition in the whole Torah that says that whenever human beings, Yetzer, even inclination, increases, and he cannot hold himself, he cannot control himself, this is the time that the Torah allows him, the Torah frees him from even the most simple moral principles that human beings have, not only Jewish people. The Torah frees him from all this, and is allowed to go and take this beautiful woman. How come? Why the Torah lets such a thing? The Torah, we know, we taught, we learned all our life that Jewish people, they have to go through all kind of tests. Hashem puts them in this world to go through all kind of tests, and they have to overcome it. They have to work on themselves. They have to work on their qualities. How come in this situation, out of all the other mitzvot that we have in the Torah permits him to take this woman? Not a Jewish woman. Well, not even a Jewish woman. And even more than that, let's say a Kohen goes to war. We know that Kohen is allowed to marry just, a girl that he cannot get married to a divorced woman. He cannot get married to all kind of women that he's not allowed to get married to. Here, he's allowed to take everything. Where? No boundaries, no nothing. How come? So, let's even make it stronger. Let's say a fire breaks out in somebody's house, okay? And this person is afraid that he's going to lose all his valuables, all his money, all his furniture, all whatever he has home. Is he allowed to take a hose of water and start distinguish the fire?
If there is life-threatening. Yes,
only if life-threatening, but not if he loses money, right? Is he allowed to go and call a goy and ask him to distinguish the fire? No, he's not allowed. So how come whenever he sees Isha Yafa, beautiful woman, in the battle, in the war, he's allowed to take her? Why the Torah permits such a thing?
Take her for marriage.
Take her for marriage, yes.
Because if not, he'll do it.
Because if not, he'll do it anyway. And the Torah doesn't want the person, you see, when he goes to war, he's in a very difficult situation. It's a situation that we don't know. We're not facing it because we're not in the war usually. Men, when they go to war, everything changes over there. He is not in his regular environment. It's not his regular timing. It's not the regular people that he's with. And a person that is usually, let's say, self-mannered, he's a quiet person, he works on himself, he has lots of manners, he all of a sudden, at the time of a war, he needs to fight. And they tell him, you have to be the best as you can. You kill, you destroy, you try to be like, in a way, like a wild animal. In that moment, when he becomes wild, to kill, to destroy, you cannot tell him, hey, this is not allowed, hey, this is not good, this you don't do, this. You just cannot. You have to let him do, because if not, he'll do it anyway. But of course, there's restrictions, which we will learn soon. What exactly, why the Torah allows, and what are these restrictions that Hashem, that the Torah gives us over here? So, usually the non-believers, they say that the Torah is not realistic. So much prohibitions. I had a bride last week, this week, and she never heard about mikveh. Her family don't keep it. They don't know anything. And I start talking about Shabbat, try to see if she understands something. She doesn't know. To a person like that, you come and tell him, you're not allowed to cook, you're not allowed to go on a car, you're not allowed to, it's like, come and kill me, I cannot keep Shabbat, what is this? It's so much prohibitions that they don't even start to keep it, they don't care about this, they don't want to do it. So, the non-believers say that the Torah is not realistic. Why to give so much things that are not allowed? For what? What's the reason? Christians don't have so many laws, and Muslims don't have so many laws, and why Judaism have so many things that you're supposed to do, things you're not supposed to do. But we see from this mitzvah of Eshet Tifratah, that the Torah is very realistic, because it speaks here about the psychology of a person. Only the Creator that created you as human beings, He knows that sometimes we're able to overcome on something, and sometimes we're not able to overcome. Here He says, the Yetzer Tov, the good inclination that he has, cannot prevent him from doing this sin. And therefore, instead of telling him, don't, we're allowing it to him, but in certain rules with this. אמר רבי לוי בר חמא, אמר רבי שמעון בן לקיש, לעולם ירגיז הטעם יצר טוב על יצר הרע. A man should always use more the יצר הטוב instead of יצר הרע. שנאמר, רגזו ואל תחטאו. If he was able to win, fine. If not, he should learn Torah. If somebody learns Torah all the time, like שנאמר, אמרו בלבבכם. If he won the Torah, so not explain it, fine. If not, you should read Kriyat Shema. You should say Kriyat Shema. שנאמר, על משכבכם. אם ניצחו, if he was able to win it, fine. If not, יזכור לו יום המיתה. You should remember a day of death, שנאמר, ודומו סלע. That's all it's written in Masechet Brachot. Meaning, the Creator, Hashem, He provided us, He supplied us with weapons that we will be able to attack all kind of enemies that come upon us. This weapon is called doing mitzvot, doing good things, doing chesed, doing good deeds. This is what is called yargiz yetzer tov. And this, when he is involved or he is busy, constant, all the time with good things, he doesn't have think about sins. Admor Mikotzki used to say to his students, I want you not to sin, not because it's not allowed, because it's forbidden, but because you won't have the time to sin. I want you to be so much busy with the Torah, you won't even think about sin, God forbid. So, when a strong attack comes on a person through his evil inclination, Torah said, the Chazal said, Barati Yetzer Hara. Yes, I created the evil inclination. Barati lo Torah ketavlin. I also created the Torah as the spice to it, as something that it could fight it. So then he would say Kriyat Shema. Kriyat Shema is he accepting upon himself the kingship of Hashem. And once a person completely believes or trusts Hashem, this is when he can fight against the Yetzer. If this is also not enough, so a bigger attack comes, he should remember the day of death. Because when he remembers the day of death, that today or tomorrow, God forbid, he might die, and he will have to give a report to God, for all the sins that he have done. And is it worthwhile for me to do this thing if I have to report on it? He will prevent himself doing this sin. So, but as I said before, at the time of war, we're not learning Torah, we're not dealing with Torah, we're dealing with war, and this is where he becomes like a wild animal, like we said before. He would wound, he would kill, he will do whatever he needs. He doesn't have any means of protection around him against the Yetzer Hara, and the Yetzer Hara, in a way, feels free to control over him, to tell him, hey, you're supposed to be mean now, you're supposed to be bad, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. And people, soldiers can do lots of bad things as they go to a battle. You probably heard of the latest war in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Bosnia. I want to tell you something. I wrote it somewhere, that in Germany, when the Russians and the Americans came to free Europe from Germany in 1945, it was a very tragic thing for the women in Germany at that time. It says more than 2 million women, German women, were raped, more than 2 million people, by the Russian soldiers between January 45 and July 45. It's like 6 months. Only in Berlin, 100,000 women were raped, and 10,000 of them died from this. France and the other countries at the time of the invasion, right? In France, the French were encouraged by General, it says the name over here, and they raped around 60,000 women only in 1 week in Italy. In a way, what I'm trying to say, that in time of war, people lose themselves and they allow themselves to do all kind of things that during the year, a regular time, they would not do such a thing. The Torah does not allow this kind of behavior. It doesn't mean that if you go to war, you allow yourself to do anything you want. Eshet Yefat Torah, you take her only if you want to marry her. If you don't want to marry her, don't come close to her. And we will talk now about the restrictions of this Eshet Yefat Torah. So, in the time of war, they go on their tanks, these soldiers. They smash all kind of cars or whatever is on their way. They don't care. It's not only raping that we're talking about. It's destroying whatever is around them, because they become like wild animals. This is what happens over there. They get into hard, difficult situations, and the Torah gives us instructions for these exceptional times, for exceptional people. Not everybody acts this way, of course. When somebody, let's say, drinks wine, not everybody gets the result the same way. Not everybody gets drunk deeply or fast or or from drinking wine. Everybody has their own levels, and everybody will act different after drinking some wine. Also, when people go to a battle and they are in a shock in their battle, right? So they act differently. But if they don't work on themselves, they can be very easily. They could be like wild animals, like we said. So, in a regular situation, not in a wartime, person needs to take care of himself, to control himself. But by the Gentiles, there is something that's called an uncontrolled impulse. And if he cannot control his impulse, he comes to a situation that he cannot really do anything about this. So they understand him, and he won't sometimes get punished because this desire was so strong. He couldn't go. It was this timing. It was this place. It was this. What do you want from him? Anybody would do such a thing in this kind of a time. In our Torah, only a man that is defined shoteh, fool, right? So only these people, they're exempt from punishment when they commit a certain crime. But whoever is normal, meaning he wears normal, he goes to work normally, he takes care of himself normally, he can live among us, and so this doesn't mean that this type of person can do whatever he wants anytime he wants. The Torah will not accept it, and so he will be responsible for any action of crimes that he does, that he commits, and on the contrary, when such a thing happens and we know that somebody is about to commit a crime, usually they have witnesses that will come and will warn him, hello, you're not supposed to, you're not allowed to, be careful. And they have to tell him what kind of punishment, what sort of punishment he's going to get, so that he is aware exactly of what is he doing, and hopefully will prevent himself from doing this. So, and for example, let's say there's a driver that goes on the road and he doesn't take this safe distance from the car in front of him. So the car in front of him had to stop all of a sudden, okay? And the other one, the one that's behind him, also stopped but didn't have a chance to do it exactly on time, so he bumped into the other car. He cannot say it's not my fault, it's his fault. It's your fault. Why do you go so fast? You have to take this precaution. You have to drive slowly. You didn't have to come so close to the other car. And if you would prevent yourself, you wouldn't come to this kind of a situation. So also a man that is controlled by his desires, by his evil inclination, will be punished if he doesn't take this safe distance from the Yetzer Hara, from the evil inclination. So, but in this situation of Eshet Yifat, he's forced to be in this war. He doesn't want to be there. He's forced to be there, and over there, the evil inclination attacks him in the most wild way. So, what should he do now? So the Torah tells him, okay, you can take this woman, but there are certain restrictions. Harav Simcha Broide, he was the Rosh Yeshiva of Hebron, said that even King David took Eshet Yifat Torah. We know that Maacha was Eshet Yifat Torah, and from him who came? Avshalom. And what type of son was Avshalom? He wanted to kill his father, right? So we will see soon that nothing good comes out of it. But even righteous people couldn't control themselves in this situation, so we cannot judge them. So, as I said before, some say that he has to bring her first home and then wait 1 month. There is expression that's called pat besalo. You know what's pat besalo? No? Okay. So, when, let's say somebody goes to work and he doesn't have food, he doesn't have sandwiches, he's a poor man. All day long his mind is in his stomach. What should I eat? I'm so hungry. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Constantly he's hungry. he keeps thinking about his hunger the whole time. But there is somebody that prepared himself some sandwiches. He is not really eating it. He'll eat it later on. But this is called pat besalo. He has food in his bag or something, so he's calmed. He's calmed down. He's quiet. He's okay. He knows that he can eat it anytime later. That's called pat besalo. When somebody comes to the war and he sees a beautiful woman and he wants to be with her, the Torah tells him, wait, not so fast. You have to take her home first, wait 1 month. Once he knows that this woman would be available to him, he would be able to wait.
But in the war, they don't know what's going to be in 1 month.
It's true. So this is why I told you, there's a dispute with the rabbi. Some say he could be with her on the spot, but then he will take care of her. He won't just abandon her or throw her away like all those people that did, Gentiles that did to these ladies. But some say he has to take her home first, and now there's a nice procedure, what needs to be done as she comes home. They go home. First of all, in the battle, he got out of his routine, out of his place, out of his society, out of the people that he is mingling and is used to. At home, he is used to. At home, he might think different. You know, at the time of the war, he thinks, oh, I'm missing this, and I'm missing that, and I need this now. At home, he might feel different, right? Number 2, she comes home, she'll have to remove this dress that she was wearing. The Gentiles, at the time of wars, used to go to the war, girls, women, used to go to the war with their best clothing, with their jewelries, with their stuff, to attract other men. And now she has to remove it.
They used to do purposely?
Yes, they used to do it purposely. So now he has to remove it. One of the Eshet Yefatot that we know was Kozbi Batsur, the one that...
I'm sorry,
yeah.
This one, Eshet what? How you call it?
Eshet Yefatot.
Where is that exactly?
Eshet is a woman, Yefatot, a beautiful woman. Beautiful woman that is Gentile, that's not Jewish, could be even married to somebody else, and is allowed to take even a married woman in this situation. So she has to take off her clothing and put something else, not the best clothing that she appeared to him with, so that he doesn't think of her as the most beautiful. You know, it's imagination basically, and you know, let's see how you think about this right now. Then she also has to shave her hair and grow her nails. We know that hair and nails are in a way external things that we have in the body, and when we learn it from the Kabbalah, it can get a lot of tum'ah. Hair, it's extra that you don't need. When you have extra things of the body, let's say you cut it and you leave it, these things they take a lot of tum'ah. Okay, so she has to grow her nails, and she has to shave her hair. And now see, do you still like her? Do you still want her?
Shave her hair.
She's
willing to do that.
And then
Well, it's part of
she's in a captive. She has to do whatever is told.
part of your body, no? The hair. I mean, I know. Why she has to shave?
That's what it says.
To
And
become
then-
less attractive.
For a whole month, she has to sit and cry for her parents. Usually that's what happens. Why? Because she's not next to her neighborhood where she used to, or in her town, or in the city, or in her country. She's away from her parents. She's away from whoever she knows. She's away from people that she's used to. She's away from even her Elilim and Avodah Zarah. And she's all alone. She comes to the strangest person home that takes her. And she feels bad. She's depressed. She's sad.
Forced to go into the world. She's forced.
She's going, yeah, she comes, she
She's
goes
forced.
with him. She goes with
Oh,
him.
that's
He's
she's
allowed,
captive.
she's in a captive.
I know, but if
Captive.
she's out of her own will, she's going to the war.
They go there to attract men.
So then, look what she goes
They
for.
want to. But Jewish Torah says you don't go just like that. You don't take a woman just like that. You have to take care of her afterwards. You have to be with her. You cannot just take her and dump her afterwards.
The ladies, they know that they have to go through that, everything shaved, this, that.
They don't have to
Well,
know.
sometimes
They'll
they-
have to know that they'll have to go through this.
This is for Jewish people.
No,
No, she said
no, she's not Jewish.
No, the men.
The men are Jewish,
Only for Jewish.
only for Jewish.
And if the Jewish woman is in the same situation and the Gentile man comes
Jew-
to capture
So they
her.
don't have these laws. They do whatever they want, like I mentioned before, with the other soldiers. They do whatever they want.
So what
don't
is
have-
Jewish
they have
woman
laws.
supposed to do?
Hmm?
What is Jewish woman supposed to do?
Hide yourself.
It's kinda, what can I tell you?
But in theory,
They
is she
don't care. They
allowed
don't care
or
about-
not allowed to
What do you mean allowed?
give in to,
His desires?
yeah.
Well,
Or she's supposed to commit
Well,
suicide
she
or
came
something
out
like
with
that.
her dress for a purpose.
Well,
No.
probably not every single woman comes out with a dress, right? Sometimes they conquer the city. If she's at home, they take her.
right.
But like Jewish woman, what is she supposed to do?
טוב,
If,
יש לנו מצוות של ייהרג ובל יעבור, גילוי עריות, עבודה זרה ושפיכות דמים. If, let's say, she's a married woman, if it's גילוי עריות, if it's for a purpose of adultery,
Could make suicide.
she can kill herself. She not to kill herself, but he would punish her. He would even kill her if she doesn't obey him. But it's not her problem anymore.
What if she gets pregnant? She's not Jewish.
The non-Jewish gets pregnant.
Yeah.
The non-Jewish gets pregnant.
the child becomes Jewish, right? Because she's
So
converted.
they'll have to take care of this. They go to the court and they will take care of that.
What if she wants to leave? What if she decides, I don't want to do this?
So let's first speak about what the Torah says here, and then we'll give all these details. So this whole purpose of waiting 1 month, it's also time for him to think and rethink. Was it a good move? Was it a good action? Was it something good that, or maybe it was just because he was in a rush, because he was in this kind of a situation, because he was not thinking, he was not logic, so they give him a time to think what he really wants. So it's a very long and slow process of kind of crashing and grinding his passion. And then asking him, do you really want this? So that's what he has to see her.
He doesn't have
When
family. He doesn't have family at home.
he does have, he may have family at home. He may have family at home. Those years, people were allowed to marry more than one woman.
So if today the Jewish soldier goes to Afghanistan work, isn't that?
What's the nice thing about Jewish soldiers of today, the Israeli people? Baruch Hashem, I didn't hear if they would say such a thing, you would go to the news. They are not. They are very moral people. As much as they fight against all these terrorists in Israel and outside of Israel, as much, usually they keep themselves and they don't do these things. They have very high moral levels in Israel. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. So, so where are we? We talking about Rabbanit Yehoshua, he says that when people used to come from war, so a man, a Hasid, would meet them and tell them, you came from a little war, now wait for the bigger war. Now you're going to get in the bigger battle. And they ask him, what is the bigger war? They say, the war against the evil inclination. Now you have to see if you want it or not. King David in Tehillim says, "Ume'oivai techakmeni." From my enemies, I became smart. This is what the Chafetz Chaim explains. Why? My enemies, when or Gentiles, they want to make a scene. With so much excitement, they do this scene. With so much passion, they do the scene. The way that they do quickly the scene, I learned from them how to do the mitzvot. Me'oivai, from my enemies, I learned how to look, how to care, how to do the mitzvot. How does the Yetzer Hara tempt the people? He activates usually the imagination. The person is not in his hometown next to his things that he's used to, whatever. all of a sudden, this beautiful lady, for him, it's like a honey cake. It's so tasty. It smells so good. It's so beautiful. He just wants to bite it. He wants to enjoy it all the time. Doesn't want to let go. And that's what happened to Chava. When Chava, it says, Nachash, the snake, comes and tells her, you have to eat from this tree. It's so special. What exactly the description is there? ותרא האישה, כי טוב העץ למאכל, it's good for eating. וכי תאווה לעיניים, it's a delight to the eyes. ונחמד העץ להשכיל, it's like a mean to wisdom. So some of the Midrashim say that this tree was a wheat tree, from wheat. What is so special? How delight could be this wheat? That she felt that it can make her wisdom wise, and it's all delight. It's just the imagination that got into her, and she started it soared to the sky, her imagination. She started to think, who knows what it is. So we have to do the same, but the opposite. We have to despise the sin so much, so we don't even want to come close to it. We don't want to do this. We're not interested. We don't think it's right. We don't think it's good. So in a way, a man looks at this woman now, at her disgrace, at the way that she sees poor, her not nice clothing, her long and dirty nails, and her no hair, and sits and cries, and then decide, do you really want it? Usually they come to a conclusion that they don't need this. Who needs this headache? That's what the Torah said. That's what the Torah wants. Yes, it's allowed on that moment, but it has some restrictions. When you think a little bit logic, then you'll decide, you'll make a better decision. Do you really want it? Is it really needed to you? Do you think it's a good idea for you? What will come out of it? We know that this parasha is connected also to, right afterwards it speaks about if a man has two wives, one is loved very much, the other one is not. So when later on he writes a will to his children, he cannot prefer the children of the loved ones to the to the hated one. Okay? And then right afterwards it speaks about Ben Sorel Umoe. Well, this boy that is not obeying to his parents, he eats a lot, he drinks lots of wine, he acts wild, blah, blah. So they say, why those three things are connected together? Because once a man goes and takes Eshet Ifato, eventually he will hate her, and then, God forbid, only Ben Sorar Umarad can come out of it. Only not good children will come out of it. Because what is Eshet Yafat Torah good for? It says that Rabbi Chia Bagmara, it says that you remember the story that he had a wife that caused him sorrow the whole time. He always mixed his food, he didn't do whatever he liked, and his son says, "Abba, why do you need her? Just get rid of her." It's not like that. And he says, Dayenu shemegadlot et bnenu leTorah. It's enough for us that our wives raising our children for Torah, to learn Torah, umatzilot otanu min hachet, and saves us from making sin. Once he's married, he thinks only about his wife, he doesn't think about other women. So we see that the woman here in this example, she has two big advantages, except some other things. She saves him from the sin, and she raises the children to the Torah. But Eshet Yifat, she's not capable of doing none of this, because she is good just for beauty. Even this beauty is relative, because at that moment she looks beautiful to him, but she's not able to raise the children for Torah. Whenever the relationship doesn't start the right way, well, children don't grow up just like that. We know when we speak about children's education, we know that when you want good children, you have to invest a lot. And even before they come to the world, first invest in the relationship between you and him. Because if husband is not respecting his wife the right way, or you do not respect your husband the right way, this is the root, and then the results will be the fruit. So very much depends how husband and wife they act towards each other, and this is how the children are coming up. So very important. Wanted to add something here. So I'll come to it later. So it says, Rab Nachman bar Rav Shmuel Omer, it says in the Torah, V'hinei tov me'od. When God created the whole world in the sixth day, it says, V'hinei tov me'od. Excellent, beautiful, very good. And they say, what does it mean, V'hinei tov me'od? This is the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination. What's so good, what's so excellent in the evil inclination that Hashem put in this world? In a way, the world cannot exist without the evil inclination. When we spoke about the internet, who was here in that shiur, I mentioned to you something interesting about the time of about what happened after the destruction of the temple. So the Chachamim and the Sofer saw that after the first temple, when the first temple was destroyed, the evil inclination for idol worshipping was so strong, it was unbelievable, it was so strong, and they wanted to cancel it because they saw that people cannot resist it. So they were able to cancel, to uproot this evil inclination for Yetzer Hara, for Avodah Zarah. Then they also wanted to cancel the evil inclination to women. And they tried this and they tried that. It says that an image of a fire, a lion came out of the holy temple. I don't want to get into that. But basically, they were waiting for a few days and they saw that in all over Israel at that time, no one chicken laid out eggs. Because the continuity of the world is with the attraction of man and woman, animals to each other, and this is continuity. You cannot eliminate it, you cannot just cancel it. Nobody will survive this way. So